Hi, my name's John. Welcome to the fourth part in a series of videos all about DTI gauges. My friend Bob's just turned up, so how in Bob? Let's have a start with it.
I'm here. Now John.
Bob, how you doing?
Need the game.
Your bench buddy lad.
Your bench. You're never getting no work done, I'm on your bench. Right, hi everybody, thanks for all the comments. This week we're going to do a strip down and rebuild of a John Bull DTI. The DTI actually belongs to John, but it was sticking, so take it to bits, well we'll take it to bits, clean it and put it back together and we'll go from there. So let's get to it. This is John Bull. He got it off a boot sale, I do believe he went to, or a bit of viewers mail, I'm not too sure. It actually works to a certain extent. It wants a good clean. Nothing wrong with it. Again, I don't know what's in anything inside, but it does what it says on the tin, but it's very slow, sticky. So I'm just going to rip it apart on camera, and John's going to edit the photos and the video and the shouting and the screaming and the language. Again, like they did with the other one, take everything off the periphery, and there's a screw in the middle.
That's a stop screw.
That's a stop screw. It's very important that these screws is on. If it's not on, there's nothing stopping that spindle. But as we're taking it apart, we don't have to have it clashing. You know what I mean? Now take the back off. John's kindly marked up my viewing area. Shows me hands in the way. Because as I said to John, it's easy me looking at the clock but not looking at the camera. Well, I've got somewhere to work in, go from there. Now as I say, most gauges, they have a hard life. The box what they originally come in gets damaged, thrown away, and as I said, there's a prime example of I don't understand why. That's got a gasket on it. It's soaking in oil. I don't know why it's soaking in oil. Maybe somebody's had a go at it, I don't know. Maybe it's been dropped in a tank of whatever, but it's got a gasket on. Now, what's the point of having a gasket on when it's got holes all over the place? That's not waterproof. So any muck or any dirt will get in and does nothing. Now on these, comes totally different again than the little John Bull. I have screws on the outside on that little ring there going round. I have to take them off. And again, they're like everything else regarding these things. Small. But as I said, the one key factor people seem to get wrong, and that's when they end up sending them to me, is to over oil them. You don't need swimming in oil. And as I said before, and I'll keep on repeating, if it doesn't work without oil, it's not going to work with oil. Years ago, when John was a little nipper, and they used to, whaling used to be on the go, all these things was lubricated with whale oil, or rendered down whale oil. Again, don't just rive the face off, you've got to slide it over the main hand, because again the chapter ring is held into the main unit. Now on this particular one, I know it's sitting on two pins, because I've had these to bits. You got to make sure before you take them hands off that it's sitting in the two holes, because if you didn't or you don't, you'll dent the face or bend the pins or even break the pins off. And again, my famous lolly sticks, whoever sent me them, thank you very, very much. Absolutely 100%. I don't have to go and you know, buy too many espresso coffees. Same procedure, removing the hands. As I say, I'm a dab hand at it now, I've done that many. And again, off camera, everything's just getting put in a, what I call a zone. Now again, it's the same as the Little John bowl. It's zinc cased, 2 elongated slots with washers on to engage it onto the rack, which is right underneath there. Now on these, yes, it's got a screw in the stop, but that there is actually your stop.
Going up over.
Up over.
Yeah.
Right? The stop going down over is actually, you can't see it because it's underneath the spring, but is the guide rod. The guide rod there, which runs into the guide for the rack, is actually hitting the rack boss, if you want to call it, and that stops the movement from going right down. So that's the top and that's the bottom. Now I'm looking at it, seems fairly straightforward when I know it's straightforward. Take them 2 screws out. By the looks of this, yes, it's got oil on that gasket, but the gasket might have been oiled from new, or could be just oil ingressed in or worked in. It hasn't been apart, which is a good bonus for me, because there's a lot of them. Again, it's like that little one. Oh, that was stuck in. So there's the ring what holds the bezel on with them 4 little screws. There's the movement, and there's the gubbins on the back. Now that doesn't feel too bad. Now I haven't got my ultrasonic tank here, but that as a unit I wouldn't take it any further. It would get dismantled further, but as the first initial clean, that would go into the ultrasonic tank as it is. The ultrasonic fluid, I buy it online. It's a low alkaline whatever general purpose ultrasonic cleaner really. It's about £4 for a little bottle or something, and it goes a long way. Anyway, again, exactly, if you look at it, it's roughly the same as the Little John bowl. It's zinc casting, horrible things, with bushes in the zinc. Again, they have sinkholes in, but you can't tell on camera, but it's very sticky. It's like old oil what's like congealed and stuck up.
Because that's going to be an old gauge, that.
Yeah, it is an old gauge, you can tell it's an old gauge. But that spring, that's the one we had trouble with yours, that hairspring.
Yeah.
You have to have that pre-tensioned. And as I say, it's usually 1 to 2 winds. But you can see how it's not returning. It's just so
gummed up.
Now, have you got any such thing as brake cleaner here? Right, well, it's not a fix. It's just to show you.
Because when I work in a garage.
You can see how that's like very reluctant to come back. Now, it might not work. I just want to show you what happens if you clean it. Rather than, I know I haven't got my ultrasonic tank here or anything daft like that. We will have, because we're going to do another video. Now I've got this stuff here. Right, I won't tell you what make it is. John gets it from work.
If you want to buy it.
He buys it for work. He's like me. And it's a solvent, yes. really, but instantly, see, the movement's just because the oil of overage. It's like you again get back to clocks. Clocks are supposed to get serviced every so often because the oil dries up, and it's the same with DTIs. But again, as I say, I've tried getting parts from different people, and you're not recognised, whatever, and all this sort of stuff, and
So straight away, that's 100% better. Isn't it?
yeah, it's returning.
It's 100% better.
So you know what the problem is. It's not.
So you know now that it's worth spending a bit of time on to sort it out.
Yeah, but you know it was just gummed up oil.
Yeah.
It wasn't a damaged pivot or a loose budge.
Nothing broken. Yeah.
Nothing broken. It's just. So I'll just give it there. Just because I can. And it's just frayed it up lovely. But I won't use it like that. I'll take it all to bits.
Do it properly.
And do it properly. And as I said, they come to bits like, I've done that many. As I said, that little one, it's just, but it's these horrible zinc cases. See, I've had to replace the back on that one because the original zinc case just disintegrated. I will do a video on how to do the bushings, but they're just a push fit. Now, a proper bush, it has a Pacific taper on. I've got a set of reamers. Even John gave us a set of reamers. They're not called reamers, they're called broaches, and they're a Pacific angle for broaching a hole, which is like basically like a tapered reamer. For when you do the bushes, which has the same taper on, they're a push fit, and they're like a Morse taper. Basically, it just locks in. But a dodge is well, there's 4 ways you can fix them. Right now, I tried to do a quick fix while I was over John's, and I ended up breaking this bit of zinc. It's not even aluminium. There's 4 ways you can, when them bushes drop out. One is you very carefully pop punch around that hole. You get a little pop punch. This is the back. It's like a top hat, the bush. It's like that's the face, because the bush is only actually that size. But you will actually finally pop punch around that edge of that hole to close it up. I don't like that method, because if that pivot, which is in the middle there, is not directly in with the bottom one, running off centre, it'll jam the unit. Now you cannot judge, well I cannot judge, how well or how deep or in exactly the same place you've got to put them pop punch marks around.
Is it a really common fault, them bushes coming loose?
Yes, yeah. Very common fault. Now the solution I found, but as I say, I was at yours, I wasn't at home, I'll come to. The second solution is you get a ball bearing, which we tried over here, but we didn't use a ball bearing, we used a dowel. And the bottom of the dowel's rounded as a radius. And what it is you put the ball bearing over the hole on the other side, and you give it a gentle tap, and again it closes that edge up, because it's a round, it'll close it up better than what it is pop punching. The third method of repairing a bush is, which is the proper way to do it, is to make a new bush, completely new bush, but you make the bush a tighter fit just by plain, do you know what I mean? Before you part it off or anything daft like that, you measure your pivot, you drill just like you would do, like if you were making a washer or whatever, but it's like these things are shaped like top hats, so you'd measure the hole diameter and all that sort of, and then you keep trying it till, I meant to bring a bush with us actually from work, till it's a really good push fit. That's the third way, and that's the proper way to do it. But this is where I might get shouted at. At work, we use top hat bushes, and what I call a top hat bush, I'll use my oil, this thing here for that. Basically, it's a bush like that, but it's got a hole going all the way through, and it has a flange. Them bushes is exactly the same. It's that bit what fits in the plate. And this is the flange which sits in a recess to act as a top bearing for the the pivot or the cog or the wheel, whatever you want to call it, right? Now we use top hat bushes at work, and we use how can I put it, a compound called Bearing Fit. I won't mention the name. Comes in a red bottle, and it's specifically designed to hold bearings, bushes, top hat bushes, bearings on shafts, bearings in cases. And if you read the spec sheet on it, it is actually physically designed. If the cases expand, it has give in, so it'll expand with the casing. And as I say, on our because basically it's a press shop where I work. We have like what I call a stripper plate, and you've got pillars, and the middle plate runs on these bushes, and all holds them bushes in, apart from being a tight push fit, is bearing fit. And I think if it works in a 900 ton press, it's got to work on a little DTI. So that's my fourth fix, is I take that bush, whichever bushes, like that one what was dropping out, or they all dropped out, is individually each one, as I'd put just a dot, and I mean just a dot of bearing fit on, put it in place. Now bearing fit's not like screw, stud fix or anything daft like that. It doesn't go off instantly. You have a bit of wiggle time. So then I'll put the wheel and pinion, which one ever it is, back in to make sure that it's still in line.
Are those bushes all the same, Bob, on it?
The cum is that a dare bet, right? Now, them bushes there is the same bushes what's in
I mean, on that DTI, could you swap bushes in any hole, basically?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. When they're new.
When they're new.
Because the manufacturer won't make a plate for one clock, then make another with another set of bushes.
No,
they'll be all exactly the same. Because then it's easier for the operator.
Yeah.
It's like when we do our press tools. All our 500 ton presses all uses roughly the same top hat bushes. Yeah. For the simple reason, they're all 500 ton, why not? Do you know what I mean? If you start changing things around, it becomes awkward when that tool goes down looking for them, because it's not a common size and all that sort of stuff. But as I say, this one, they haven't dropped out. They might drop out when I put it in the ultrasonic tank, or when like the other one, when I start cleaning. So normally these things, I mean, I did that one a deep clean. I'll give that a light clean, ultrasonic clean, tank clean, clean them pivots and put it back together again. But all it wanted was, and I'll scrub them with a metal cleaner, obviously, because they won't drop to bits. But again, I've said before, use a hairdryer, not a hot air gun, because that's a steel pivot into a brass wheel, and if you heat it up too much, it'll just drop out, because the brass will expand quicker than the steel, and just like a push fit, they just drop out. And take the centre pin out. That's the centre one. Again, I'll just put that in my box, so I won't lose it.
So it's possible we could do a video of reassembling this one.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Hopefully
it'll work. Now, unlike that one, the hairspring, which is that fella there, or the pre-tension spring as I call it, or whatever, it's held in with that tape. I'll take that cloth out of the way. Go on out there, because that brake line there, thingy on it. It's held in with that taper pin. There's a taper pin. And I have a pair of modified pliers that I've cut a notch in the end. So the pin, one end goes into the notch, and the other end is just on that, so it just slides out. But John will make sure I'm in camera.
Yeah.
And that's it, it's out. Not a lot of pressure. You don't need, as I say, people go, oh, you need such a special tool. Oh, they lost it. You didn't. You know what I mean? I don't know how many times I've resharpened them tweezers, because I've used them for hole pokes, and I just keep sharpening them down. So, take the hairspring out the hole. That's it. That's all. And they'll get cleaned and put back together, and we'll do a video of clean another ultrasonic tank clean, put them back together and clean the movement. And I'll also do how I clean the dial, the lens, another one, scratch that up and give it a going over with metal polish. You paint the ring, you just need some black paint, no fresh. And that's as simple as they get. There is some Mercers, has one bad name, and there's another name I won't mention because I'm keeping it as a surprise. They're really, really good gauges, but they're a pain to work on. Because you have to dismantle the movement inside the case to get the movement out. Because the top plate, this plate here, if you imagine, goes actually over the spindle. So you have to unscrew that plate, because the spindle, imagine that's the spindle, it goes like that. And you can't get the movement out because it's hitting that. And you've got to dismantle, take the cup, and it's really, why they made it like that, I don't know. So that's our next instalment.
So you're going to take that away, clean it,
yeah,
and then we'll put it back together.
Yeah, I'll clean it down home. I've already done the ultrasonic cleaning, so there's pointless going through it all over again.
Do you strip that bit, Bob, or does that go in whole?
I'm going to put that bit in whole first to give it a first clean, basically.
But you will strip it?
But I'll strip it. But what I need to do is I need to measure that. I need to put that screw back in the top.
Right.
And measure how far that is from there.
Right.
Because that's your stop.
To set it up, yeah.
To set it back up again.
Yeah, yeah.
I can have an eyeball of a guess, but it's easy, just me.
Put a vernier on, measure it.
Put my vernier on, measure it, write it down on a bit of paper. Yeah. That bit there, I measure that. Then I know when I come to put it together, it's not like keep undoing the little grub screw. Keep undoing that and play until I get it where it's supposed to stop.
You can put it right.
I can put it right straight away. But as you can see, as the movement's working, it's coming back slowly, it's not snapping back. That should snap back quite rapidly. But it's just, as you said, with the other bit part of the movement, it's just old age and needs a good clean. But it hasn't been butchered. I don't mind people taking the clocks, at least they've had a go. I don't mind at all.
Yeah, I had a friend who was a gunsmith. He used to often get a shotgun lock assembly in a plastic bag.
And you're thinking, once you're used to them, they're not hard. I'm just putting screws in the box here, gents, ladies and gentlemen. So I can take it away.
Don't turn it off.